waiting for this to be official. It may already be official in front of me. So let's go ahead and, all right, testing. Okay, setting up your meeting, redirected. To be official in front of me. Okay, so all right, we are now officially ready to rock and roll. We are live on the YouTube in front of me, and we are now live on the Instagram over to my left-hand side. So those of you who are on here who are currently watching, there will be some question and answer as well, but I really did just, you guys crossed my mind. So just wanted to hop on here just to do a story for you, a experience share of a very pivotal moment that did happen for me. So going to wait for a few more folks to start jumping in here. Go ahead and comment below, drop where you are from. I'm here in the 317, which is the area code for Indianapolis, Indiana, in case you are wondering. So today has been, gosh, I feel like the weeks have just compressed and everything is all mixing together. So we'd love to hear others if they have been experiencing that as well. I remember following up with someone in terms of, I forgot what it was in particular, about a sponsorship. And I felt like I had reached out to him last week, but it was actually 2.5 months ago when I reached out to him. So it's just everything is just a huge blur in a way, but still constantly every day working towards becoming the strongest version of myself, and then also delivering as much value as possible. So truly appreciate everyone who's on these streams. And today is going to be along the lines of a story I wanted to share with you, which was one of those pivotal aha moments that I experienced in a world record attempt that I went for. And this was back in 2014 is when I did make that record attempt. So those of you who are jumping on here, comment below and let me know where you're from. And we can do some Q&A towards the end as well. But just wanted to provide insights in terms of me picking a goal that scared the living crap out of me. And so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the story itself, where this is a world record attempt that I went for and absolutely bombed and failed it. But there was so many shining lights or insights I was able to get from that failure and able to push past limiting beliefs as well. So just jumping into the story itself is I read the book 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And from that book is I got not only being able to work on your business versus working in your business, it was just more of, hey, focus the most you can on the highest value activities and delegate everything else. So that was one thing that I got from that book, as well as picking a goal that just ultimately stretches you. So from that is the goal that I had picked was to beat the record for the world's fastest fireman carry mile. And in case you're wondering, no, I am not a fireman. And it's the world record, and it's through the Guinness World Records, and it's the fastest fireman carry mile. And what you do is you carry a person that is of equivalent weight. So at that time, I was about 158, 59 pounds. And you have to carry that person of equivalent weight in a fireman's position around the track for a mile. And there was actually a specific time to beat. So when I originally applied for the record, the time was around about 16, 17 minutes or so. And then shortly after I got approved to attempt the world record is when someone actually beat that, and it was 11.5 minutes. So they completely shattered it, or they really went above and beyond when they did do that. So that was something that creeped in my head like, oh gosh. So ultimately, I set out on this path to start training, and I was at a CrossFit gym. And at this CrossFit gym is actually where I met my mentor, which that's a whole nother separate conversation in itself. Is I wanted to find a place where I could train for this world record. So it was a CrossFit gym, which those of you who do CrossFit is very expensive. So what I did was, and I was completely broke at that time, and I was so broke that I would actually loan money from the bank unapproved in terms of how I would be able to get a loan from the bank, because meaning I would have $5 to my name, you guys. I was this broke. I would have $5 to my name. I would go to the gas pump and get my gas. And I had a truck at that time that was, you could say, a gas guzzler. It just was about 12, 14 miles per gallon. And so I would fill up my vehicle all the way to about $35, $40. I would later pay it back, but that's a hack that I would use in terms of just being able to get that loan from the bank, which it was a loan, but not really a loan in a way. I always paid it back. So that's that story and stuff, how broke I was at that time. So what I did was I bartered my way so I cleaned the gym in exchange for my membership. So I'm huge in terms of being able to barter and see how you can be of value to someone. There's always a workaround if you have at the end of the day, the ambition and the ultimate drive to go where you're looking to go. Thanks. We got D-Ben for jumping in here. We got Fitness Work 56, Exclusive Property Invest LLC. So just jumping further into the story, we got more people that are coming in here. Always appreciate everyone. So I spent this year and a half training for this record, and midway through the attempt, this was about 5 to 6 months in, I hit a setback, an obstacle. I was training and I was doing squats, and I was squatting so heavy that my back just went out, boom, just like that. And I remember getting up, and the pain that I felt was so bad, and I'm actually still affected to this day. And this is 6 years later from that experience, that I was bed rested for a month to a month and a half. And that's how much I was affected through that experience of that injury. However, instead of saying, okay, this record's not going to be a good fit, I'm not going to train for it, I just said, okay, let me recover. As soon as I recover, I'll get back at it. So, and the various training that I was doing was I was doing a lot of running with lifting with heavy weights, so I could get used to running with weight on my shoulder. I also had a training partner that I would train with, that I would run with them in terms of run with them in the fireman's position. So I really get some good experience, and they weighed about the same amount as me, actually a little bit more. And so fast forward to the actual day of the event, I got all this news press that was coming up. I was able to build up some good news press. I was on local news. And so the day of the actual event itself, I had friends that showed up, people that just heard about it from the news, through the grapevine, I believe is how you would say that. So it was a really good turnout. And also, one thing that I want to premise too is I lost someone to cancer, and they were in their early 20s. So that was also something that was a driver for me to do this record, because all the proceeds from it were going to cancer research. So that's something also that was an ultimate why and a driver through this. So fast forward, day of the event, the person who I was training with over the course of the year and a half backed out. They just said, okay, I'm not going to be able to go there for whatever reason. They had some personal things that were going on. So that was another setback, you guys. And I could have looked at that as, okay, this is not and this was a week and a half prior to the actual event, the day of the event. So the route I took was I went to my old university, University of Indianapolis, and found someone. I was on the wrestling team formerly. So I found someone on the wrestling team that was equivalent weight for me. And we actually started training. And so the day comes, family, friends, there's this good turnout and people that are there. Also, there's an official track coach there too. And then also there's a scale, because it's all official that once you go for this particular record, so you have to record it. It has to be a collegiate track as well that's measured out. And you have to have a actual official coach, a track coach, in addition to that, that is certified. So had all that in place. And so we're ready to rock and roll. We got the recording. And I'm so nervous at this time. I'm just telling myself, I don't know what it is. I go off to the side, and there's this little me that's I don't know exactly how to explain it. This was like some out of body experience and those of you who are just jumping on here, I'm just talking along the lines of the story of the world record attempt that I went for and ultimately failed, but got so much insights from it. So I go off to the side, and there's this little voice in my head that's, Sterling, can't do this. You should just call it off. You'll be fine. Don't go for it. You're going to fail it. And I go off to the side, and I just completely just lose it in terms of I didn't know what it was that came out of me, but I start screaming like, no, you got this. Come on, keep pushing for it. So don't know what that was, but I ended up pushing through that. So I go to the start line, the person gets on me and the gun goes off. And it was completely slow motion when when that experience happened. So fast forward through everything is you're supposed to run around the track 4 times. I made it around the track 2 times and dropped the person. And when you drop the person, their feet touches the ground, the attempt is officially over. So from that is I failed, and when I failed, I remember sitting down and I'm out of breath, and my stomach is expanding because I'm just completely exhausted. And the guy that I drop, I look over and ask him, is he okay? Because I was just so the experience just absolutely drained me. So I go over to him and he says, yeah, you're okay. And then he mentioned back to me, are you okay? And I said, I'm actually good. And the most limiting belief that I had up to that point was a huge, was a huge, what do you call that? Limiting belief about the fear of failure. I feared failure so much because I felt through school, through college, through that is when you get an F and you fail something, that is bad. However, what I've experienced in entrepreneurship all throughout, just when in my younger days, is only just feedback of what not to do. And yes, it's good to learn from your own mistakes, but it's even better to learn from others. But when I failed there, that was a huge unlock for me that, hey, Sterling, in life, just go for it. So that's one story I really just wanted to share with you all that was really a unlock for myself in terms of just picking a goal that stretched myself so much. And it was so the journey, I'm telling you, the journey that led all the way up to that event was so much that has shaped me to where I am now, meaning that the whole mindset of training for that long for an event, a lot of the obstacles and setbacks, now I'm reflecting on it, that I ended up getting through and still going through the actual attempt. In addition to that, the self-improvement that I really started to hone in on with just feeding my mind as much positivity as possible. So there was a multitude of things through the experience that led up to the actual event, the journey, that was something that has really been a pivotal moment in myself. And then actually going forward and attempting the record and failing at it was more additional insight that, hey, failure at this scale is not even so bad. There's all the people that were watching, friends, people that I did not know that just heard about it from the local news, the good amount of buzz, and saw me fail. Then that was it. That wasn't so bad, and that really has paved the way for today. So thanks everyone so much. I did just want to share that. Go ahead and drop any questions that you happen to have below as well. And one thing I do want to mention, there is the REI Inner Circle that I did roll out. And some of you who are actually on here is in that inner circle, but it's just a way to work with me on the ongoing basis in terms of being able to find investors, fund your deals, build a personal brand to bring on investors, put together multifamily syndications, raise money, and take down deals with no money out of your pocket. So if you want more details on that inner circle, just slide into my DM with inner circle as the message. But truly appreciate everyone so much. Would love, hopefully that story does provide you some insights just to pick something that scares the living crap out of you, because that's always what I'm working towards. One other thing is I am petrified of heights, and I am always doing things that push the envelope to put me outside my comfort zone, because I feel that is a muscle that you build. And one time I went bungee jumping. The other time I went cliff diving, and cliff diving was by far the most sketchiest thing that I've done in my life. And that was just due to where I was at. It was in Lake Tahoe, beautiful place of beautiful part of California. But I ended up jumping off a 65 or 60 to 65 foot jump. And through that, I would say my heart was beating. I did the little jumps at first. And just to make a long story short, is my good friend I was there with, is the whole time I was talking so much crap, you guys, that I was saying, you know what, I'm just going to go right to that top jump. I'm going to skip all the little baby ones because that's not what I'm about. I'm going straight to the top one. So we all end up, there's a group of about 15 of us. It's a bachelorette party. Just kidding. It's a bachelor party. And so we all do the 20-foot jump, and then there's another jump that's above that, which is about 35, 40. About half of us do that. And then the very last one, my friend comes over to me and says, all right, Sterling, let's go ahead and go to the top one. And from that, I said, nah, I'm good. And he's like, you were talking you were saying all this whole entire time. And now that we're about ready to jump, you don't want to do it. He said, my wife did it. I said, bro, I'm not your wife. So that's how I felt from that. So he ends up going up there jumping. There's two of them. They all go up there and jump. And I'm just sitting there like, from my side, no, Sterling, you're not going to go out like this. Just stretch yourself. That's always what I'm about. How do I push myself and keep evolving as an individual? The same as everyone who's on here, which I would hope is constantly looking to evolve and really stretch themselves. And from that, they jumped and I said, all right, let's rock and roll. And we go up there and there's a photographer that's shooting the videos and photos. And about right when I'm about to jump, he's like, hold on, let me take a video. I was like, no, I'm actually going right now. And so I jumped. And the thing was, I have shoes on because the impact is so rough that it could really damage your feet. So you have to do like this in terms of a pencil, so straight down. And however, what I did was a banana. So I hit the water and my what do you call that? My crotch did not feel very good from that experience, the way I actually did it. So it looks like this when I did it, there we go. Where you're supposed to be like this, and I did it more like that. So that was not a good experience, but either way, stretch myself, which I'm stretch outside of my comfort zone. And that's what I'm always about. So everyone keep being awesome. And if there's any way I can be of value, don't ever hesitate to reach out. As mentioned, I do have the Inner Circle, which is a way to work with me on an ongoing basis on the real estate side, but really just want to pull back the curtain and show you all more of just me being a human being and the things that I do constantly just to stretch myself. So have a great one. Keep being awesome. Thank you so much, you all. All right. Okay. All right. Have a great one, everyone. All right. There it is. Okay.